Hello, I'm Katie Holloway of Lose Yourself Books, and here's what I read in March this year. The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. This was an audio version that I listened to actually, but I do have the book as well. I didn't realise this is known as the first ever crime novel or murder mystery novel. If you're a fan of Agatha Christie, definitely give The Moonstone a go. It was quite long, but I think if I'd been reading the paper version rather than listening to it, I would have got through it quicker, I think, and probably enjoyed it more. There were twists and turns, there were gothic elements that were quite fun, although I was expecting more of the supernatural that was hinted at the beginning. You never get that again, but a good read if you like murder mysteries, and especially classic ones. Give that a go. Next one was When in Rome by Sarah Adams. This was a library book which I have returned, so it's on a piece of paper. This was a very sweet, kind of cozy romance, small town romance novel. It was just very sweet. I really enjoyed it. I whizzed through it. The intimacy was not explicit, although there was a lot of talk about it. So it's not the cleanest of cozy romances, but on the whole it was quite good. The language was a little bit off, but again, it was quite sweet, very cozy, about a pop star who falls in love with their owner of a pie shop in small town America. Very sweet. Tired of Being Tired by Jess Connolly was one I borrowed from a friend and have returned, so also on a piece of paper. This is a Christian book aimed at women, although I actually think my husband would benefit from it as well, but it is aimed at women, though many others would benefit from it. All the different realms you could be tired in, which I hadn't really thought of before. You can be tired physically, but also mentally, emotionally and spiritually. And thinking about the arenas that I was tired in was a real game changer for me. I would take some of it with a pinch of salt. I found her a little bit too self-focused at times, but on the whole, this was such a helpful book, and I have bought copies for friends since reading it as well. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, another library book. This is actually young adult or teen fiction, probably older teens or young adult, about a girl who starts at college. It's in America, so university, and how she navigates that with kind of social anxiety, kind of trauma with her family, but she just wants to be at home on her own in her flat writing fan fiction is what she loves, but it's how her she expands her horizons, kind of explores that a bit. She's got a twin sister and they deal with things very differently. I just really loved this book. The language was quite bad, which I was surprised at for a book aimed at kind of older teens. But apart from that, it was really sweet, really fun, and I really enjoyed it. Talk Bookish to Me by Kate Bromley. This was another library book. This was fun. I whizzed through it. The intimacy was more explicit in this one, so if you're not into that, then be aware of that. But it was there weren't huge instances of that. It was quite fun. Not the best written romance I've read, but just quite fun. I loved that it was about a writer, and I wanted more bookish content actually, but it was about a writer overcoming her writer's block when she gets in touch, or not gets in touch, she bumps into an ex-boyfriend at a party, and everything that kind of happens there. There's kind of the kind of forced closeness trope as well as the ex-lover trope. It was fun. I did enjoy that one. The Reading List by Sarah Nisha Adams. I loved this book. I really didn't know anything about it. It was another one. I just spotted it at the library. I thought, I need this. It's about a reading list, a list of books that pops up and comes into different people's lives, and it connects them. They read these books. Two of the characters are people who weren't really into reading, and they discover this love of reading, and through some quite traumatic situations different people go through, it draws them together, builds a sense of community. A lot of it is set in a local library, different cultural backgrounds, different ways of dealing with grief, but it was also quite light in terms of its hopefulness, and the general outlook was really uplifting. So if you are into books at all, I really recommend this book. I really loved it. Frenchman's Creek was another audio one that I listened to, which I just loved. I kept thinking about it when I wasn't listening to it. Daphne du Maurier is a classic a modern classic, but a classic nonetheless. There is an actual pirate in it, and it's all kinds of questions over morality. This is a kind of well, today you'd call her a bored housewife, but this is set in the 1600s, I believe, maybe 1700s. She escapes to Cornwall with her children and a nanny, away from her husband, bumps into an actual pirate, kind of goes on an adventure, and it's a question of what is acceptable, what isn't acceptable, what's she gonna do, especially when it was set. It was definitely shocking, but even when it was written in the early 40s, this would have been quite shocking. And though I wouldn't condone her choices, I was still liked her as a character. I was really rooting for Dona, and I sympathised with her situation that she was in and her longing for adventure. So if you like the Cornish coast, if you're up for an adventure story and a bit of pirates, definitely give Frenchman's Creek a go. And finally, the Bromance Book Club. This was really fun. It was by Lyssa Kay Adams, and this is all about a married couple who are struggling in the marriage, and the man kind of stumbles upon this group of men who read romance novels together in order to kind of get tips on how to treat their wives. That's essentially it. It was really fun. The language was terrible. It was quite a sweet book, but there was a lot of bad language in it, which for me was distracting. Again, there's a couple of intimacy moments that is quite explicit, but it's not every other page. So take that as you will. I just really enjoyed it. It was just quite fun, and it was quite refreshing to see romance between a married couple, which I haven't read a lot of. So there we go. That's what I read in March. Have you read any of these books? I would love to hear your thoughts, and do let me know what you've been reading this month. See you soon.